by UNFPA, UNSCAP, and UNDP with the Yokohama city in 1987. It's 30 years of like organization now, but from 2015, Seoul City is hosting the organization, so they moved their secretariat to Seoul. So it's very long historical like organization. So it's, if you guys have an interest, please go into the website and you will see what kind of work the CityNet does, because like it, since it's a 30 years, like there are many members who are really actively participate, or the project and the programs. Well, and there are many joint programs and projects with the UN agencies and the multilateral development banks. So you, if you're interested and if you have any want to work in the CityNet, then you will have many chance to work with other like international organizations and other non-government organizations as well, even with the cities. So I started internship there, and for like 6 months, but usually they're looking for like an intern for three months, but that time it was a very special occasion, because like every 4 years they are doing this event called Congress. So which is like every member, like there are like many members in that organization, the CityNet. So they gather every 4 years, every like, members and partners, even like the potential partners and so on. So it's about like 300 to 400 people are like gathering there. I'm sorry for Mayor Park, but last event in 2017, he joined our Congress in Sri Lanka, and he met Prime Minister of Sri Lanka. So it was a very big event, and it really successfully done. So for that, I was like hired for the registration and communicating with the members, and that I successfully got like a position after that. Well, before I kind of experienced other organization, and then back to CityNet as a program officer. As a program officer, I kind of did dual like that kind of like programs and communication. So I had a lot of like opportunities to talk with like cities and work with the UN agencies, especially UNSCAP, because they're based in Asian Pacific. So like I have really great opportunities to get to know like what kind of like leaders and how they're like the processes going on in Asia Pacific region, because like Asia Pacific, like many countries, they have a very different background. So it's really good for me to know how the work going on in every cities and local understand about the local context. So with that, I spent like 2 to 3 years there. And then after that, I kind of had this burnout, because like I think like the last year of like a CityNet, I had this business trip every month. So I had to go Abu Dhabi or Nepal, the Sri Lanka, Malaysia every month for like just 1 week, or like even like for 2 days. So I think I kind of really had like, I just thought maybe it's better for me to explore other like field, not just international organization. Because if I go like some really big events, like very like world events, I see a lot of people who has a really big like different background. So I thought maybe it's great for me to explore another field to get back to international organization later on. So I changed my job to China Mobile, which is the Korean branch. So I was there for 6 months as a, sorry, I forgot my position title, but I was there for marketing, to support marketing. But when I was there, I actually applied this UNFPA in like when I was in CityNet, but I have this news when I just moved to CMI. But maybe, well, since my office is based in Bangkok, I thought maybe it's another great opportunity for me to join UNFPA. So I got this interview and I successfully got into this position, and then I moved to Bangkok this January. Well, now I'm kind of back to Korea for the personal reason, but I will be soon depart to Bangkok soon. So if you guys have any like a question, well, even though it's regardless of like where I'm staying, but please feel free to contact me if you have any question about that. So in UNFPA, so let me just present about what kind of like a work that UNFPA does here. Okay. Okay. Sorry, guys. Can you see everyone? Good. But I think it's not. Oh, yeah. The screen is changing? Yeah, okay, good. Thank you. So UNFPA is the United Nations Sexual and Reproductive Health Agency, and our mission is to deliver a world where every pregnancy is wanted and every childbirth is safe and every young person's potential is fulfilled. So it's now our name is like a United Nations Population Fund, but it was created when it was created in 1969. The name was United Nation Fund for Family for Population Aid, but it changed to United Nations Population Fund. I think it was 1980 something. I forgot when was it. But you can see more information in the website, so please do so if you're really interested in it. So after that, with the United Nations General Assembly declared the parents have the exclusive right to determine fully and responsibly the number of spacing of their children. We are mostly like our mandate is actually to deliver I'm sorry. Let me have a water. Yes, our effort is to achieve three. Actually, now we are more like focusing on this like a three transformative result out in 2000 since 2018, ending unmet need for family planning and ending preventively maternal deaths and ending gender-based violence and harmful practices. Yes. So we are now working in more than 115 countries, territories guided by the 1994 Program of Action of International Conference on Population Development, and we work with the partners with government, cities, society, and other agencies to advance its mission, and as well as private sectors. But now we are more like discovering the opportunities to empowering individuals and government and advocate for the action and partnership with the private sectors as well. This is the office where I'm working. We are called APRO. It's this Asia Pacific Regional Office. So it's established in 2008 in Bangkok, Thailand, to link between the UNFPA Global Business Strategy with all the Asian and Pacific region and the cities there. And we provide strategic support and technical expert to 22 country offices, including sub-regional office in Suva and Fiji and 14 Pacific Island nations. So not just we are like liaising between the country offices and the headquarters, we also implement and the design the programs and projects and execute in our regional level. And of course, we are managing and overseeing and guide the CEOs to successfully deliver the projects and programs in a local context. But we have a lot of engagement with the CEOs and HQ to actually to implement the project in a actual time and actual with the actual mandate. So I will skip this. So now, we are mostly focusing on the democratic and civic space. and rapid economic growth, increasing conservatism, emerging SHHR, which is sexual reproductive health and challenges, and stagnation of values and norms, mostly disaster-prone region in the world, region in the track to achieve the 3 zeros now with the COVID-19. I will just skip this one. Let me just, now with this COVID-19, there are many like country offices and, like regions in Asia Pacific, they're confronting very like difficulties in gender equalities and the women issues. So like with how we are kind of like looking forward to programs and the project, how we can actually partner with like, private sectors and the government to reactivate our programs and project after post like COVID-19. So how it impacted and how actually we can go forward after that. I'm sorry. Okay. And this is the guideline. This is the publication that we are regularly publishing. So if you go into UNFPA and APRO, if you're interested in Asia Pacific region, you can just go into and you see all the publications there. So maybe it's better you to just read all the information there, better than I think it explains well better than me. So, but if you guys want to know, just let me know so I will try really hard to deliver what actually the more if you need more detailed informations. So I will just end the share screen. So if I can just share my department, I'm now working as a resource mobilization and partnership analysis, and I'm under the branch of the resource mobilization department. So our main focus is actually now UN agencies, as you guys already might know. The UN agents, many international organizations, we are kind of really depends on the subsidies from the government and the other like a multi-development bank. But with situation of like the politics and economics, it really affects instantly, even with this COVID-19, like many of countries, the situation is very we cannot really assuming how the economy is going to change. And there are a lot of discussions going on within the UN and the other department as well to how actually we can not to depend on our government subsidies, and just and we are now looking forward to have a more partnership with the private sectors, because and sometimes I'm not sure, maybe it's just for me, but when I having conversation with someone actually not have same background as me, it's very difficult to actually explain what kind of work that we do, because it's very different, like a private sector and this internal organization, our mandate and our goal and result is very different. So it's really kind of I kind of always finding very difficult is how to actually pursuing or to convince them to actually get interest, have them bring their interest to this work and the programs. So now we are kind of strategically developing these strategies to reaching out and approaches as private sectors to engage this international field, because sometimes we it's government, they also need our need we also need like a support from the government, but some part we still need some like a various help from other different like a field. So like that is our kind of really big key issue now. So like we are developing. So, and our like many of our colleagues are welcoming the like person who have really like different background, not like us. Like I was in, many of us are actually based in the this international field, but like they're also looking for someone who can actually give us something that is idea in the outside of the box. Yeah, and that is this main job now, to syncing the partnership with the private sector. And since I'm like I'm allocated to regional office, I'm mostly I'm like liaising between our control offices and the HQ to develop their like a partnerships and the pipeline about like a strategic these partnerships. So if like the control offices are like sending their due diligence form, which is pre-screening what kind of companies they are actually contacting and how they can support our country offices to deliver this project and the programs. They're sending this document to us, and we're reviewing all the pre-screenings. And then after, if we are things that they can go for with the partnership, then we are sending this document to HQ for final review. And then after we're overseeing and managing their like guiding how they can actually make a partnership between the companies and the ones, because there are a lot of documents to, even just like a MOU, there are a lot of like a process that we have to go through. So that is the part that I'm actually supporting on, and to make them to, if there's any risk that we found, then I'm guiding our CEOs to draw a risk mitigation framework about like how they can actually avoid the risk, or like how these companies to support our CEOs, regardless of the kind of like controversies, like publicly, like it's surfaced. So far, is there any question? No, okay. Do I receive any? No, not message. Okay.
Crystal seems to have a question.
Oh yeah, Crystal, please do so.
Okay, hello, my name is Crystal. Thank you, Chanrhan, so much for your presentation.
Thank you.
I was wondering, so there's quite a few UN job positions offered by the Korean government, like UN volunteers, JPO, and other stuff, also by KOICA. So did you apply to the UN directly, or did you go through such programs by the Korean government?
Thank you. Actually, yeah, that part I was going to explain, but I think I skipped. Okay, I will just like go into your question after receive the question from Jisoo.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, really thank you for your like presentations, because like it was so impressive that like you worked at the like, is it, can I say the city that is international associations in here?
It's very complicated.
Yeah, because it feels like it's closely work with the local authority mainly, and now you work in the regional office of UNFPA. So I would like to know, like for you, like what was the most like different things between working in the international, okay, let's say association in here, Korea, and like working in the regional office like in Thailand?
Okay, thank you. So back to Crystal first. Sorry, I skipped that part. So there are like many ways you can actually apply to UN agencies. Well, officially there are like four, let's say four like there's a 4 kinds of like a process you can apply to, which is the JPO, Junior Professional Program officer, yeah, and the YPP, Young Professional Program, and the like UMB and other like the programs that are like jointly managing by the foreign affairs in every countries. But you have to see like how your mother country is actually like providing, because like some country they also like go with the UMB, but like some countries they don't actually offer to UMB this like a program. So you have to actually log into your information in the foreign affairs official website, and you will find all the information on there. So JPO, if maybe you guys already know what kind of what is JPO is, but just like a briefly talk. So JPO is like the program that is actually supporting by the country, not just like a UN, but like this country. Every country they're like giving this like a aid to UN. So that, like every UN agencies they have like some like sorry, I'm losing my language. Every like UN agencies they're kind of keeping the the positions for every country, so you can apply into like through your foreign affairs this like a program, and it's I think 2 years for like officially, and after that you can extend, or like you can actually go into you can like apply the other actually the P level positions than that. YPPs is organized by the UN itself, so it's well, the condition is it's a bit different from JPO, because JPO they are requesting you to have like the master degree, but YPP they just like I think the necessary condition is just like a bachelor degree, not the master degree. So you can actually apply even now, and I think the working experience they're looking at is, I think it start with the 0 year, so you can just like if you're graduate from your just undergrad, then you can just go into if you're very interested. But unofficially I'm just like just in this in this our room session, I think it's pretty much hard for person who just like graduate from the undergrad and have like a 0 years of experience, then it must be very hard to get a position in UN, because they're, even though they're saying like a 2 years of a working experience, actually they're looking for like a 4 to 5 years. So it's better you to have a more experience on that. And the JPO and YPP, you can find information from the UN official website, or other like LinkedIn, every like SNS, or even Google. Even you can find all the information from like any other sources. But and JPO from your like this foreign affairs website, even as well as UMB and other positions. And except those like for official like processes, you can also, if you're interested in any kind of organization, like there are a lot of like UN agencies like UNFPA, UNFPA, UN like Women, and you can find a lot of like organization. So if you go into the their website, I think there are many information in LinkedIn. Like if all the UNs and other organizations, they have their own the page in the LinkedIn, and many of like officers they're posting the the vacancies on there. So if you're very interested, just go into and see like what kind of internship or consultancy what they're looking at, and you can just apply direct to the those like the UN it itself like what website. Or there is a website called Inspira, so you can just go into, and if you find like something like a qualification is matches with your qualification, then just you can really apply there. Yeah. But I'm thinking about what kind of really useful information I can give you since you guys are in this session. But as you guys know, like it's just better to start with like any kind of like a work if you want to just like have experience in these organizations. Well, it's kind of linked with the, the question to Jisoo. Since I started working in CityNet, well, it's not actually, it's very complicated. Outside of like Korea, many people think it's an international organization because its impact to the cities in Asia Pacific is very huge. Even UNFPA, they're always asking help from CityNet to actually to mobilize participants and leaders from Asia Pacific through CityNet. And even like CityNet, they're doing this program called SDG Knowledge Platform, where the cities can upload their best practices and the challenges they're actually working on. This is actually firstly proposed by the UN ASCAP, and they asked CityNet to hold this like program because like the impact and this like communicating between the cities. CityNet has a lot of influential like influence to those cities and leaders, but and many of like countries like if like let's say for example Philippines, the city, the mayor, actually it's kind of like a family business, I would like to say. So like they already know about like what CityNet is, how they can actually do through the CityNet. So yeah, so it has a very big impact. So I had a lot of opportunity to work with the UNSCAP and UNDP and UN Habitat and even like World Bank, because we had this annual program called Transportation Workshop, which is we're jointly organizing with the World Bank, Seoul City, and the CityNet. So we mobilize the participants from the countries in Asia Pacific, and also mobilize the lecturers and specialists from the World Bank, within Washington-based Washington, and some like a specialist actually who are working in the field, like 2 to 3 of like the specialists from there. And Seoul City, it has a very good transportation the practices. So we did this workshop annually, and I was a person in charge of the workshop for I think 2 years. So it was a really great opportunity to get to know about how the system going on in the World Bank and the UN agencies too. So with that, here I well, if you guys are really interested in like in working in an international organization, maybe it's working on NGO can be the option, not just like a UN. It has its title, I know, because that was actually my goal. Like even though I'm working in the CityNet, but many of like in organization, even it's based in Seoul, they have a lot of really good connection with the UN. So, and sometimes it has more influence than UN to like, the project, the cities or programs. So it's really good opportunity to person who are really interested to know the, the project and the policies and all kind of like information, like detailed information. And with that experience and with the knowledge, I think I had a good, I gave really good impression to my boss, because he was very interested how I work with the cities in Asia Pacific. And he really liked that I have close relationship with the mayors and the people who are working in the central government. So, and that's why I allocate to the resource mobilization department. So for that, I think I really suggesting you guys to go with the, not just like a UN. Well, if you have like a chances to work with the UN, then go for it. But, other non-government organization, you can have like a very good working experience there too.
Right. Sorry for interrupting. We're going to have to close the breakout rooms. Thank you so much for your presentation and interesting insights. Maybe if students have further questions, do you have maybe a LinkedIn that they could contact you on, or? All right, perfect. So yeah, thank you again. So in that case, we'll now close this breakout room, and we'll be back in about 5 minutes, and see you then.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chanrhan. Bye.
Hi, Andrew.
Long time no see.